What's up, friends, fellow card collectors? Card Obvious here, and it's that time of month again, the beginning of the month, for our binder haul for the cards that we got in January. There's going to be a lot of Hall of Famers in this haul, so I purposely kept down the Dolphins and Braves and Hurricanes cards that I got. Not that I got that many in January anyways, but I purposely didn't add like newer cards because I had so many Hall of Famer cards to go through. So therefore I'm probably going to split this video up into two parts, since there's so much to go through. I like to show off every card one by one as we go through. I may not spend a whole lot of time on one card, but I like to show off everything that I got as far as cards. It's just what I enjoy doing. It's how I collect. But yeah, this will probably be split up in two parts. So especially the Hall of Famers, because there were so many of those that I got mainly from Crazy for Cardboard. I made a purchase from him back in beginning of December and in November. I bought a big lot off of him, and it had so many Hall of Famers in there that there's a huge stack of Hall of Famers I need to go through. So go ahead and sit back, relax, grab you a drink. You could pause it, head to the kitchen, grab you a cocktail or, even a refreshing beverage, maybe a lemonade or an Arnold Palmer. And, yeah, just sit back and enjoy the show. And let's go ahead and get this baby rolling. Okay, we're going to start off with some Dolphins cards here. I only got two Dolphins cards to show off. I do have more of those that I got in January, but I'll save those for the February haul, just, to lighten the load on on this haul video, because of all the Hall of Famers. So we got a 1996 Collector's Choice there with Dan Marino. Also fellow Hall of Famer Curtis Martin there on the right. This was back before the Patriots got really good, even though I do think they went to the Super Bowl in '96, didn't they? But this was before the Brady era started in New England. It was towards the end of the Marino era, though, in Miami. He would only play 3 more years after this. And then we got a Collect the Rookies, Ted Ginn. This looks like a contest that they had back in 2007. Of course, Ted Ginn, one of the most maligned draft picks in Dolphins' recent history that I remember. Alright, next we're going to take a look at the Hurricanes. Once again, not too many of these that I picked up in January, so let's just go through them real quick. Here's an action-packed Steve Walsh. Of course, Steve Walsh ended up in Dallas, mainly because Jimmy Johnson was in Dallas, and Jimmy coached Steve down at the University of Miami. And then we got an Otis Anderson, one of the Hurricane stars from the early 80s, Otis Anderson. And then we got the late Jerome Brown, one of the top defensive tackles, coming into his own in the league until he was tragically killed in a car accident. Many of you may have seen the Reggie White speech when he found out, like just moments before he was doing a speech, that his friend Jerome Brown had died in that car accident. It's a very emotional and touching speech. Mr. Jerome Brown. We got a Leaf Rookies and Stars, Willis McGahee. Really good running back at the University of Miami. Got some Heisman votes. He didn't win mainly because Ken Dorsey also got Heisman votes that year. They kind of split the vote, I imagined. And I think quarterback from Nebraska ended up winning it that year, Eric Crouch. But yeah, I think McGahee should have won it that year. He had an amazing season. The year that, what was that, 2002, 2001, 2002. Amazing year for Willis McGahee. Then we got Andre Johnson. From 07 Leaf Rookies and Stars, Andre Johnson. And then finally we have a 07 Topps Chrome Clinton Portis. So it's amazing seeing McGahee, Andre Johnson, Clinton Portis. They were all members of the early 2000s, late 90s Hurricanes team. It was just absolutely stacked with talent. 2001 Hurricanes, considered usually in the top 5 of many people's lists for greatest college football squads. Alright, let's take a look at some Braves next. Not the hugest haul of Braves, but we did, no, it's probably about 20 cards. Picked up in January for the Braves, cards I did not have before, so each of the cards you see are unique. We got a O.B. McDowell, 90 Donruss, Francisco Cabrera, 90 Donruss. Just 2 years after this, he would get one of the biggest hits in Braves history, of course, in that 92 NLCS Game 7 against the Pirates, the night which Sid slid. There's a rookie card, 90 Upper Deck, or not Upper Deck, but score, Mark Lemke. First baseball player I had ever signed a card for me was Mark Lemke. He was at a card show, and yeah, it was kind of amazing because like he didn't look like a pro athlete to me. He just looked like a dad, I guess you could say. He just looked like a dude that was signing cards. Dale Murphy, 90. And then another Dale Murphy, 90 Upper Deck. Of course, that was his last season on the Braves. He would move on to the Phillies pretty soon after that. Mike Bell, 92. And then we got a Leaf, Gold Leaf Stars here with David Justice. It's got Joe Carter on the other side. But David Justice, and the exciting young Braves players of the early 90s. We got some 93 SP here. Steve Avery, of course, injuries derailed his career, but he was a great young pitcher. Of course, the crime dog, Mr. Fred McGriff, shown here in his Atlanta uni. Of course, he was traded to the Braves, I believe, in the middle of the 93 season, I would imagine. But yeah, I just remember when he came over, one of the stories about after the Fred McGriff trade, there was a fire at Fulton County Stadium, broke out in the press box before he made his debut, which delayed the game. I don't know if they canceled the game that night, if they just delayed the game a few hours, but I remember watching it from a hotel room because me and my mom were actually traveling to Ohio to see my brother, and we had stopped overnight in, I want to say in Kentucky, maybe Tennessee, and I remember flipping on the TV because I wanted to watch the Braves game, and then I saw the fire in the press box. I think they just delayed the game, but yeah, that was right before the Crime Dogs debut. I definitely remember, you know, seeing that craziness. They showed the fire and everybody's like standing out in the field watching it. And then of course Terry Pendleton won the MVP in 91. Definitely one of the solid contributing members of the Braves teams in the 90s. And then here's another TP, 93 Black Gold TP. And then we got a 94 Leaf David Justice. And we got some 97 Fleer here, Steve Avery. This was coming towards the end of his stint with the Braves. I like how Fleer put, like, you know, because they were in the World Series in 96. Yes, I still hate you, Jim Leyritz. But yeah, like awards and stuff like that they put on the bottom of the card. I thought that was a cool touch. I'd love to see some, you know, either Panini or Topps do that with their cards, you know, maybe like a little icon or something to show any awards that anybody won. I know some companies still, like, you know, they actually make a card like this person won a Gold Glove, or, you know, have their own card, but Fleer did it by putting little stamps down here. So like this one says World Series 2, and then like if somebody won the Cy Young, it would say Cy Young down here at the bottom as well. So 96 World Series, another 97 Fleer Terry Pendleton, and then we're moving up to 2002, one of these World Series Heroes cards, David Justice. Of course, David Justice hero, the 95 World Series Game 6. Hit a solo home run. It was the only home run in that game, as Tom Glavine threw an 8-inning shutout against the vaunted Cleveland Indians lineup. And David Justice, much maligned during that World Series, as he said that the Braves fans weren't excited enough during the games. Kind of, you know, they printed his quote in the newspaper, and I think David Justice actually got booed that game, but then he was definitely cheered heavily after hitting that home run. put the Braves up 1-0. They would end up winning the game 1-0. Colby Allard, rookie card from Archives, 2019 Archives. Colby Allard has a lot of rookie cards with the Braves, even though he is now a Ranger. And then closing it out, we have a 2020 Topps Cup card of Mr. Soroka here, Mike Soroka. Tore his Achilles last year. Hopefully he recovers fully and is able to continue being a successful pitcher. The thing about the Braves pitching staff is they don't really have a bona fide ace yet. They got some really good pitchers, but they don't have that DeGrom, Scherzer, Kershaw, Bieber, type pitcher that's just totally dominant. But they do have some really good, pitchers. It's almost like a staff full of number 2s and 3s, but no true number 1. There's hope that, Ian Anderson might be able to become that. There was hope that Soroka was going to become that before he tore his Achilles, but we'll see. You never know with pitchers. Pitchers have up and down years sometimes. Consistency as a pitcher is really important. So, all right, let's get started with the Hall of Famers. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of Hall of Famers to go through, so we'll split this video up. We'll go through about half of them, and then we'll do the other half in a video on its own, which may not be as long because it would just be all getting tongue-tied here in the Hall of Famer. So we got a 1980 Topps with Dave Winfield, Don Baylor. This card's got some issues, but it's a 1980, so I don't mind too much. And then we got a 82 Donruss, Harold Baines. 82 Donruss, Bob Lemon. Of course, there's a manager card with the Yankees. Bob Lemon, a Hall of Famer from his pitching days with the Indians. We got an 84 Serial, Andre Dawson. This card's awesome, and I'm Serial. And then we got a 86 Fleer, Mike Schmidt. 86 Fleer, Mike Schmidt. This does have a issue up there at the top, but once again, I'm not too worried about it for binder cards. Then we got a couple of Boardwalk and Baseball. This one, Robin Yount, Hall of Famer. And another Harold Baines with the White Sox. Alright, got a few 87 Donruss here. We got a Eddie Murray. George Brett. Tough thing with these Donruss, you see the white on the edges of these cards because of the black borders. Definitely very condition sensitive on these, and if they spent any time outside of a penny sleeve in a box or something like that, you're gonna have those white edges showing. Carlton Fisk, 87 Donruss. Definitely my favorite Donruss set from the 80s is 87 Donruss. Just love the black borders with the baseballs up here. Definitely hard to grade these at 10s or whatever because of the centering and the chipping on the edges. Alright, got 87 Kmart here. Roberto Clemente. And Mr. MVP in both leagues, Frank Robinson. And of course, we got some 87 Topps, Tim Raines, the Hawk, George Brett. It's amazing some of these cards I did not already have in my collection. Mike Schmidt, All-Star. Tony Gwynn, All-Star. Wade Boggs. Phil Niekro. And a Ricky Henderson. 87 Topps. This is a pretty cool card here. That came in that box set I got from Crazy. It's a 88 Indianapolis Indians Randy Johnson. So a minor league card of Randy Johnson. That stadium looks a little beat up. Old school looking stadium in Indianapolis. Yeah, Indianapolis Indians. This is from CMC, I believe. Yeah, CMC minor league card here, Randy Johnson. This one has some issues chipping on top too, but it's cool to see a minor league card like this. I love oddball minor league sets of Hall of Famers. Really cool. There's a Pacific Legends, Harmon Killebrew. And then we got a few score Reggie Jacksons here from 88. They had a subset. Reggie Jackson, rare photo in Orioles uniform. And then, of course, for the Angels. And then we got 88 Topps Carlton Fisk. And a 88 Topps Tim Raines All-Star card. 89 Fleer George Brett. And then 89 Topps Jim Rice. Sorry about the camera bump there. Dave Winfield. Alan Trammell All-Star card. And Robin Yount, looking like he's about to bunt. It's going to be a Yount bunt. Then we got a 89 Mini Leaders George Brett. And then on to 1990, we got a Bazooka Kirby Puckett. This one's all chipped up at the bottom, but it's the only card of this I have, so it's going in the binder. Then some more 90 Donruss here. We got Fisk, Schmitz. Actually, we got two Schmitz, and the reason we got two Schmitz, I'm going to set these other cards over to the side here so I can show you. We don't really consider, at least like some people don't consider these variations, but it's kind of hard to see. But one of these has a dot after the INC and the other one doesn't. And on Trading Card Database, they consider these variations, even though they're the same card. Just that dot. There's a dot after Incorporated or INC, and there's not a dot after INC here, so I go ahead and kept them both as, you know, a variation of one another, just because of that dot. But, you know, it's not something I actively chase. We got Harold Baines, so the entire set's like that. So basically there's two variations of the entire set, plus these All-Star cards. They also have variations where they'll say All-Star Game Performance or Recent Performance on the back or something like that. Kirby Puckett, this one also says All-Star Game Performance on the back. Carlton Fisk and Alan Trammell. And then we got some 90 Fleer here, George Brett. Larry Walker rookie card, looking all fresh-faced. There's an Expo. Players of the Decade, George Brett. And then we got a 90 Leaf, Mr. Kirby Puckett. And we got a bunch of 90 Score. Eddie Murray, Barry Larkin, Wade Boggs, Nolan Ryan, Tony Gwynn, the Hawk, Craig Biggio as a catcher, the Wizard, Carlton Fisk, the Eck, Yount 2, Robin Yount, Edgar Martinez, Ricky Henderson, Smoltzy, Puckett, the Professor, Greg Maddux, Tim Raines, Raines and Baines, and another rookie card of Mr. Larry Walker. Then we got Wade Boggs. These are the Dream Team ones. Tony Gwynn, they're still part of the main set, but considered a subset, I guess. This was before inserts. These were modern cards. These would be like inserts. Kirby Puckett. And Ryan Sandberg, Dream Team. And then Nolan Ryan, highlights. Wade Boggs, highlights. And then we got 1990 Swell, Hank Aaron. Rest in peace. And a 1990 Swell, Honus Wagner. And we got a 90 Topps Rock Raines. And a Mini Leaders from 90 Topps Greg Maddux. 90 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. Checklist. And Nolan Ryan special card from 90 Upper Deck. And then the regular 90 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. Sandberg with Deion James sliding into second there. Ricky Henderson running back to the bag on a pickoff move, knowing dang well that pitcher had no chance. You know, pickoffs just, I don't know how many times Ricky got picked off in his career, but It didn't matter. He was still going to steal second. Here's a Tony Gwynn. I don't know who that is right there, the cameo. I can't quite make out his last name on his jersey. I always like to figure out like who's in the backgrounds of some of these cards. Andre Dawson, the Hulk. Jim Rice. And Nolan Ryan. Little photogenic card of Nolan Ryan there. From 90 Upper Deck. Alright, we'll do one more stack, and then we'll cut off this video and do the other half of the Hall of Famers afterwards. Here's another one of those really cool oddball minor league cards. These were from Cal League Cards, is the manufacturer. You can see Piazza did play at the University of Miami for one season, and then went to Miami-Dade College before he was drafted. In 90, so Miami-Dade, Salem, Vero Beach. So definitely jumped around. Big story about Piazza was a super late draft pick. I can't remember what round it was. 61st round. There it is on the back. June 88, 61st round. And ended up becoming a Hall of Famer. Was really drafted as a favor from Tommy Lasorda to his dad. It was pretty cool. My Piazza to come from not very hyped amateur career to becoming a Hall of Famer. So, alright, we got 91 Classic here. Rickey Henderson with a cameo from David Segui, placing a tag on him. Another pickoff move against Rickey. Alright, so the bulk of a lot of these cards are Conlon Collection, and a lot of people do not like the Conlon Collection cards. But as a Hall of Fame collector, we got a big stack of Conlon Collection here. So we got Rogers Hornsby, Dizzy Dean. Once again, these aren't all in the greatest condition. Paul Wainer, Melott. This one's got a big old scratch down it. You can see it right there. Right there where the light shine is a big scratch. But it's all good. Walter Johnson, Frankie Frisch, Red Ruffing. I love these because the photos are so great. You know, these are photos from the 20s on these cards. Johnny Evers, Dave Bancroft, sometimes even earlier from the teens, Dead Ball era. Ted Lyons, Eddie Collins, Lefty Grove, Max Carey, Burley Grimes. That's a great name. Earl Averill, of course, Casey Stengel, who will go on to manage the Yankees. Harky Vaughn, Epa Rixey, Joe Sewell, Red Faber, Travis Jackson, Tris Speaker. Tris Speaker looks pretty old in that picture, so I imagine this one was taken in the 20s. Yeah, 1924 is what this says right here. Connie Mack. Another Connie Mack from 1930. And another Connie Mack. Connie Mack wore a suit and tie while managing the team. Be cool if managers can still do that. It's weird, you know, like managers in baseball are the only coaches that are required to wear the same uniform as the players. Just weird to me. When I let them dress the way they dress. Al Simmons, Joe Cronin, Mickey Cochran, Harry Heilman, Johnny Mize, Ed Roush, Enos Slaughter, Christy Mathewson, Fred Lindstrom, Gabby Hartnett, Goose Goslin, great name, Heine Manouche, Bill Terry, the big old ding in the side there, John McGraw is an Indian outlaw, half Cherokee and Choctaw, George Sisler, Lefty Gomez, the Basher Millot, Red Ruffing, Trivia, Ty Cobb, this one taken in 28. So Ty Cobb was pretty old there. Rogers Hornsby, Rube Marquardt, Carl Hubble, Lefty Grove, Walter Johnson, Chick Hafey, Earl Combs. So a lot of these Hall of Famers, like, you just never hear about because they played so long ago and they weren't the superstars that broke the game like Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Rogers Hornsby, Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Walter Johnson. You know, people like the Wainer brothers, Lloyd and Paul Wainer. You don't really hear about them mentioned that much. Mickey Cochran. You know, maybe if you're like fans of certain teams, you hear about these players. Pie Traynor. Like Heine Manouche. Like, I never hear Heine Manouche mentioned. You know, maybe if you're a Yankees fan. Heine played for the Yankees, didn't he? I think Heine played for the Yankees. You know, you might hear about him more. Ed Walsh. Joe Sewell. Chuck Klein. Jim Bottomley, another name you don't hear all the time. Jimmy Fox. Frankie Frisch. Lou Gehrig. There's a name you do hear about quite often. Al Simmons. Eddie Collins. Gabby Hartnett. Joe Cronin. And the aforementioned other half of the Wainer brothers, Paul Wainer and Lloyd Wainer. Brothers in the Hall. I think they're like second on the list of all-time home runs by brothers. The Wainer brothers. I think they're second. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I'm just guessing off the top of my head. Maybe third. I don't know. I know Henry Aaron and his brother are first, and that's mainly because of Henry Aaron. Alright, we're moving on to some Donruss here. 91 Donruss, Paul Molitor, Alan Trammell, Larry Walker, second year card, Greg Maddux, and Eddie Murray, MVP. And then we got the brightness of 91 Fleer, George Brett, 91 Leaf, Ricky Henderson, O-Pee-Chee Premier, Robin Yount 2, and Ultra Gold. What are these called? Ultra Team. I know sometimes they're just called Ultra Golds. Kirby Puckett. I got some 91 Upper Deck here. Tim Raines, the Hawk, Edgar. Another minor league card here. A classic of Mike Piazza when he was with the San Antonio Missions. Mike Piazza. And we got some 92 Pinnacle here. Paul Molitor. Hawk. Tomei. And Idols with, who's on this card? Gehrig and Robin Ventura. Robin Ventura and Lou Gehrig. Dave Winfield. And then we got some of these Team 2000 inserts from Pinnacle. Larry Walker. And Smoltzy. Some 92 Studio. Larry Walker. Wade Boggs. Harold Baines. And some Ultra. The Big Hurt. Frank Thomas. Paul Molitor. Ricky Henderson. King Griffey Jr. Edgar. Professor Greg Maddux. And last card we'll show for today is Ryne Sandberg. Because I know I'm getting close to 30 minutes of filming, if not over 30 minutes of filming, just to go through all those cards. Once again, folks, pretty wild here. Dolphins, Canes. Let me get the focus here. Dolphins, Canes, Braves, Hall of Famers. And these are just half of them. And actually, I think the next stack is actually a little bit bigger than this stack, so it's not a true half. But yeah, that's pretty much the start of my haul from January. I'm going to have a part 2 of this. It's just going to be all the rest of the Hall of Famers. But yeah, I'm going to roll some stats at the end of this video to show you all where my Braves, Dolphins, and Canes collection is currently at as far as unique card numbers. But I appreciate everybody watching. Remember, you're going to control 2 things: your thoughts and your actions. Stay positive. Keep collecting them cards, filling out them binders, filling out them boxes, however you store them, filling up your display shelves. Yeah, then I'll catch you all in part 2. Peace.